You weren't live. Sorry. Whoops. Okay, let's try this again. Yeah, this is my first time using
Okay.
live, StreamYard, so I'm still like learning everything. Okay,
Okay.
hello. Well, let's do this again. Hello, everybody. Prime Hero here, and welcome to my very first live stream. I'm here with Gilbert Deltrez, creator of Galactic Rodents of Mayhem, and yeah, we're gonna talk about some stuff. I guess some stuff.
Sounds good.
Anyway, so yeah, how's it going, Gilly? How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing very good. Glad to be on your show. Thank you so much. It's always fun to talk comic books.
Yeah, no problem, man. You had me on your channel a couple of times, so now it's my turn. Thank you for helping me out by being on my first live stream hosting.
Yeah, man. Tit for tat, no doubt. You know how that goes.
Yeah, totally. So yeah, how's the campaign going? How many days do you have left on it? I backed it a long time ago, so I don't even
Awesome.
I don't really look as much as I do because I'm already getting
No, for sure. I don't even look. It's hard to look. I'm actually got It's when you do your own campaign, it's always stressful. I'm literally on the last. I'm like on the downward spiral right now. I got 9 more days to go. We broke $9,000, and we need 6 more thousand to go, which is a kind of a hard stretch.
Yeah.
So let's see if we can make it. If not,
I think you're gonna hit your mark. I mean,
I don't know, dude. I'm being serious.
I don't know.
I'm being honest. Me and Sebastian, we have our plan B option already.
I think you're not. I don't think you're gonna even need your plan B option. Honestly.
All right, I love that optimism. I hope.
Because
I'm always a pragmatic.
Every single day on Twitter, I see at least 5 to 10 people retweeting Galactic Rodents of Mayhem, like all the time. Like it's getting out there. People are sharing it a lot. Yeah. So I think you're gonna hit your goals, like definitely.
I hope so. I think it was a bit ambitious. Like I easily could have broke it up into 2 parts and did like 7,500, but I kind of want everyone to read everything at once. That's kind of how I envisioned it. I want to spoil you guys. I want to give you guys like a big chunk of a book. You read it and you kind of feel like you got through season 1 and you're okay. I hate cliffhangers. So if we can't fund this in the first go round, I'm gonna bring it right back and I'll launch it next year. So I'll let this year to just we'll enjoy the holidays and I'll bring it back early next year and we're gonna delay the inevitable. But you're also gonna get a nasty cliffhanger if we do break it up into 2 parts. So
yeah,
I wanted to avoid that with the big one part.
Now
let's see.
Yeah, you had mentioned on some other guy's stream. I don't remember which one exactly is right now, but that one of the stretch goals was like an Ashcan like one shot crossover with another character from somebody else. Now, have you given any thought as to what that character might be? Like,
yeah, I found a character that would really, really work and is practical. I mean, I could just say, hey, I would love to do a crossover with the Ninja Turtles and have the permission from Nickelodeon.
Yeah, but that's not going to happen.
That's not going to happen, right? So I do have a character in mind, and it's a pretty cool character. And
can you reveal that here, or is that kind of on the lowdown right now?
Yeah, it's on the lowdown. I kind of want to reveal it if we fund. If we don't fund, then we'll keep it in the back burner, and I'll bring that idea back with when we do the campaign for both books. So here's the thing. Like I want to do one book, but like if I have to break it into 2 parts, this idea ain't gonna happen until I could deliver you the full experience. Then I would tag that along.
Oh, that makes sense.
You know what I mean?
You don't want to get people's hopes up too much, I guess.
Exactly. So if we're able to fund it in the first go round, then I can say, hey, if we get by this much, you can add the stretch goals in there because we funded. So as long as we have the book funded, we're in the in-demand store. Yeah. More people will gradually get onto the book with new content, new page stuff we put out, so we could tease it out. Right now, I'm nowhere near where I can start teasing it out, so I don't want to do that. Yeah.
by the way, that art that you posted on Twitter today, you have your designs for the animated series right there.
I like I think it's Peter was his name.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm sending his master name, Koth, I think, but Peter, Peter K. I just saw it this morning. I was surprised. It was a beautiful piece of work. and I'm definitely going to, consider doing something with that piece. I got a lot of good pieces that people have sent that I definitely want to do stuff with. So let's see if we fund. We'll open up the possibilities.
Okay, that sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Now, this morning I had a bit of a scare with Twitter. Like I almost broke my Twitter drama cherry, almost. Like, but it didn't turn out bad, which is pretty interesting. This morning someone had retweeted my first video, something about, oh, this guy's passion is great. I might have to subscribe. But then he said something that some people might construe as kind of backward, kind of a passive aggressive kind of statement, like, oh, this guy's passion is great, but he's wrong about a lot of things with Batman and Superman. And I'm like, well, wait a second, is he complimenting me at the same time as insulting me? I'm like, I don't think I like this guy, what he's saying. But I decided to play it safe and not jump on anything. So I cleared things up. I said, I'm curious, what is it exactly about Batman and Superman that I'm getting wrong or that I don't understand?
What was it that he said exactly?
Well, because thing is, I guess in my video, I was talking about how I have a specific idea of what Superman should be, and I guess Batman too. How they shouldn't kill and whatever. And I think he was trying to get at the fact that Batman and Superman have killed in the past. Like back in the Golden Age, Batman was used guns and killed, and Superman also killed too.
Then in the Golden Age, was that the Golden Age before the Bronze Age, right?
Yeah, it was the very
beginning, right? Didn't Superman kill Nazis? I want to say he did.
I don't know, but he killed criminals, and so did Batman. And I think he was under the impression that I didn't know that. Like I know full well the history of these characters. I've been a fan of these characters for going on 20 plus years. So. And, I understand that that's their history and that's something they did in the past. But in my version, in my eyes, the iconic version of these characters don't kill. And that those are the ones that I latch on to. And I think there was kind of some kind of misunderstanding. He disagreed with me. But actually, he ended up being a really, really nice guy. He's actually really, really cool, really... what's the word I'm searching for? Cordial and very civil. And we kept things civil, and and I thanked him for subbing to my channel and watching my video. And I even invited him on to watch the stream. I don't know if he's around. I don't think we have anybody right now. But yeah, that could have been way worse than, because everyone has to have that initial, Twitter drama.
I just think that the comic book characters make for a great topic of conversations. We all geek out on this type of stuff. We all have our particular things we like with each superhero, maybe some things we don't like.
Yeah.
So
the point is what you want to do is you can have disagreements, just try to be civil about it. And sometimes, I'll admit, sometimes I can get kind of defensive because I was about to get a little defensive. I'm like, well, no, that's not the right approach. I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah.
I don't want to be that guy, because it seemed like he was calling me out as being some kind of normie or noob when it comes to these characters. I'm like, that's not the case at all, man. Nothing could be farther from the truth. I've been a fan of Superman and Batman since I was 8 years old. So,
what are your thoughts on the Man of Steel? Was it Dex? Was it?
Oh yeah, I have very. You don't want to hear me rant about Man of Steel. You don't want to,
because I know there was a lot of controversy there in the Batman.
You don't want. I can go on a tirade about those movies and how that's not Superman. I'm not going to go into that here.
All right, we'll say that for another
drama yesterday with Facebook. Yeah, that was crazy.
Oh, it was just interesting. I think I understand everyone there's a level of gatekeeping to everything, really.
Mm-hmm.
Even when it comes to Facebook groups, sadly, and especially when you're trying to hit an audience that you think would be perfect for your book. For me, what kind of bothered me was that I played the game the way the game needs to be played. I understand about gross spam posting, and it wasn't that. It was literally a post, an organic post from within the confines of the community that I was able to, I replied with one of the capybaras because the question was, being that my book is anthropomorphic and it's literally like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Star Wars mixed with some capybaras and for good measure.
Mm-hmm.
So the question was a fun one. It was like, hey, mutagen. It hits everyone gets hit with mutagen. What animal are you turning into? We know most people are going to turn into dogs or cats, but what are you going to turn into? And everyone's saying their thing, and I'm like, boom, capybara. And I
do you know what I would turn into?
No, what?
A honey badger. A honey badger is the toughest animal in the animal kingdom. I swear.
Man, we might have to make a honey badger.
They'll fight anybody, any animal. They'll fight anything. They'll fight a cobra. They don't care.
So a honey badger is something I'm gonna float around with, including them maybe into the Grom universe. One honey badger character. Yeah. But honey badger is cool. I put capybara because it's so chill and mellow, and it was a great way to segue into just a little talk about my book and not even throwing up any kind of links at all because I get that frowned upon. So I said, capybara, and some people commented on it and they wanted to know more. Like, hey, who did the art? This is cool. So that's why I'm like, hey, I talked a little bit about it in that comment, and I left it at that. But I'm like, hey, this is a good jumping point. Let me make a post, and I could, use the whole picture because I had just cut out a piece of the character.
Yeah.
And I put capybara. So I did that, and I talked about it, and and it was deleted. So I wrote out something well thought out, and I typed it up, and I'm like, hey guys, because of this comment from yesterday, and it got good response. I just wanted to share with you something that was created by a guy who loves Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Our cover, I wanted a more Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle look. I kind of went with this one, and I'm like, it even has a reference in there. Can you spot it? Hey, I'm trying to, encourage some fun.
I did spot the manhole cover. It's right underneath the title on the bottom, right?
Yeah. With the black and white image, because that's the one that I was using, you won't have the title there, so you could actually spot it out a little bit easier. So that's the image I was teasing around. I didn't want to tease out the color one because they don't know much about anything about Grom, right? They don't know what's going on. So I wanted to keep it with the black and white image. That's what I used. And then I just want to show the enlarged cover, black and white, because then if they got interest a little before the campaign, I'm like, hey, here's our full cover. And, you're going to get like a nice reaction because you're downplaying it, But again, it was deleted within within a couple hours, maybe 2 hours, maybe instantly. I don't know, because I'm at work. So I just drop a thing and then I go to work or while I'm doing my thing. And I did my video. Sebastian, he's the artist. He saw the video. He was kind of like, what? I'm like, yeah, man. I'm like, this is what's going on. He kind of thought it was crazy. I'm like, I even DM messaged the guy. I try to, organic talk with him just to try to just say, hey, listen, try to just share it with him privately just to see what he thought. So that way, if I do a post, he's not going to like insta delete it every time. And it's almost like I was trying to sell the dude, like some magic beans or something he wanted nothing to do with. So it was frustrating, but whatever. I left it as it is. I made another post. I think it was today that got a lot of traction, and it wasn't anything related to my book, but it's just to make connections, to give, right? To say, hey, I contribute to the group. So when I want to throw something about my book, I shouldn't be getting deleted. Yeah. But anyway, Sebastian actually dropped a pencil sketch of Raphael that he's working on that we're going to use as well to share within the group to then talk about our book. And he was up to the pencils and he shared it, and he new member and everything. He's like, hey, just want you guys, to know this is a book I'm working on. I love the Turtles. I grew up on the Turtles. They inspired me to get into drawing comics or whatever. And he's like, hope you guys enjoy it. He got a bunch of responses. So, we're like, we're going to slow play until before, And what's even funny, the person that blocked me literally responded on his thing. Hey, you draw good. You should keep drawing. And I felt like, you know, I was telling Sebastian, I'm like, I feel like dropping a savage comment right here and there, but I'm like, I'm gonna hold back. He's like, yeah, don't do it. We know you got to be.
Oh well,
you got to be strategic,
advice, you know, because maybe I want to get in on some Facebook groups and what you're doing. I don't know which ones I would do, but yeah.
Dude, it's cool if you got the time just to connect because there's a lot of cool people putting stuff up and just great organic conversation and stuff. Yeah. But then when you're trying to promote, it's just rough because it's just there's gatekeeping. There's there's a lot. You got to be kind of connected in, and again, you got to do it in a way that's not like, hey, buy this, hey, back this and this. It's just like, hey, what do you guys think? You know, let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts.
I think I know the angle that I would take with it. I just got to play around with it a little bit more, but yeah. So what else? Okay, so the other day on Facebook we were talking about for my comic Paragon Prime, I have, like I told you, like at least 30 issues worth of story, like 30 24 25 page issues worth of story
in your head, right?
In my head, like, yeah, I have so many characters and so many just arcs that I want to do. It's like, well, because in my eyes, it's like, it's an ongoing, so like, yeah, I'm going to be on this book for a long time, and that's completely okay. That's fine. Do you feel the same way about Grom?
Oh, for sure, man. This is a book I don't want to like stop. I mean, with Sebastian and the way I think we got a winner with this book.
Yeah.
With me and him, we had with the plan me and him had, literally it was like we did Lair, then the idea was to do something fun, which was Grom, and we do one volume, and then we basically jump between 3 different projects, and we'll do like a next story, like Lair, for instance, jump on Grom, then we jump on another book, and that one was going to be like a fantasy sword slasher type thing. You know what I mean? Along the lines of like Conan, but like a female Conan.
Oh, like Red Sonja or something like that.
Yeah, but kind of like not too much like Red Sonja, but just I guess different because like we're in a different time, so
yeah,
you know what I mean. It's just I love Conan. I love. Conan.
Yeah, but if you haven't read the new Conan book by Marvel, it's actually pretty good. I have the first volume of that, and it's not bad. It's well done.
Okay, so I was kind of how with things with Marvel, it's like touch and go.
Yeah,
so I kind of didn't have high hopes.
At least the first volume, it's not very woke. It's got Conan, just lots of violence, killing a lot of people, having sex with a lot of women. It's masculinity. It's all the toxic masculinity that they hate, but it's all there. It's awesome. Yeah.
So I kind of wanted to go, like, the angle is like, I don't know too much about Red Sonja, but for this project, the angle would be like a female barbarian type. And that she uses her sexuality to her advantage as well. And she's just filthy. She would be really kind of like a She-Hulk type of build, like really strong, really capable.
Classic She-Hulk, not this new garbage.
No. We're embracing a female bodybuilder type. You know what I mean? And I kind of wanted that story and something dark, kind of Games of Thrones-y, But again, this is a cool idea we had. But then the way Grom is coming out is just like, I think like we're just gonna focus on Grom.
I completely understand that because like I don't know if this becomes successful, and I'm gonna want to keep on doing stories with Paragon Prime. I don't know if I'm ever gonna move on to another project.
And that's a good thing because you're still doing something you love and you're focusing on a project that you like. So at least a
lot of my other projects, like the 2 others that I mentioned to you yesterday, those also would be kind of ongoing. Now, I do have a couple of ideas that would be good for just one graphic novel and done. And I'm done telling that story. I don't need to go back to it because it's like it would be like one movie and that's it. I'm done. It's over. Like Pistoletas was like that, right?
Pistoleta was a one-shot, 30 pages, and I could have done it. I could keep it going. I even had it in mind how to keep it going.
But in your head, it was a single story, right?
To be honest, in my head, it was going to be a couple issues, maybe like 6-issue arc,
Okay.
and the idea could have been like
Yeah, but it
the
wasn't. It
Lone
wasn't.
Wolf and Cub. You ever seen the Lone Wolf and Cub?
Yeah, I heard about it. Yeah, I know about
Kind of
that.
like that, but in a Western. You got this pregnant chick, or now she has her baby, and now
That's
she's in the Wild West,
that actually sounds pretty awesome. I would like that. Yeah.
So that would be the idea, but me and the artist, we've got a bunch of stuff going on, so we don't get at that.
I would read that. I actually want to read Pistoletta. I don't know how to get my hands on it. You have to let me know how to do that.
Yeah, I know one thing I could recommend. Have you read Lair?
No. I do want to read your past stuff if I can get my hands on it.
The one thing I would recommend for people that kind of see me as interesting, and I definitely do got some interesting stuff, and I have a lot of range. Pistoletta is a Western, Lair is a spiritual horror, and now I got anthropomorphic sci-fi action. Could you
imagine if Robert Rodriguez or Quentin Tarantino see your Pistoletta comic and want to make a movie out of it?
That would be cool. Just to be between us. Well, it's obviously not going to be between us, but what's the best way to say this? I do have a producer, and this is I'm not blowing smoke here. That a small producer, indie producer, but they're connected to a project called Warrior Nun on Netflix that's being shot right now as a 10-episode TV series by Ben Dunn. I don't know if you've heard of Ben Dunn.
This name sounds familiar, but
yeah, he does some stuff with Antarctic Press, and Warrior Nun was one of his books he did like in the 90s, and it just sounds cool, right? Warrior Nun, and it's filming right now. So this producer literally, while my crowdfunding campaign was going live, contacted me. I thought it was a hoax. He's like, hey, I like your stuff. I think it make for a good TV show or something like that. I'm like, okay, whatever. We kept in touch and we talked. It was like, okay. And he seems to be a great guy. So we're in the talks. The agreements have been sent out, and this stuff takes a long time. So
yeah,
my expectations are not high. And when I spoke with him, I told him I'm realistic with my expectations. I'm not expecting like, oh yeah, movie's coming out. Like, no. No, man. We live in an age where it's like, you know what? I just got to be really careful.
Yeah.
Especially with the stuff I'm putting out. But I like the idea that it's getting attention. Lair is one that it can definitely become something. I just have to put the time into pitching it out. I'm just making comics. I don't have time where I'm actually actively pitching stuff unless people are coming to me. And so, like I said, for people who want to check out some of the stuff I put out in my Galactic Rodents of Mayhem campaign, I have what's called a Headshot Horror Pack through the rewards. And in there you get a convention-size edition of Pistoletta, which I did it like an 8.5 by 11.5. It's kind of like a little bit bigger than a magazine. Because, Western, you got to have that panoramic landscape. You got to have the cinematography. For me, it's bigger is better. I get the traditional comic book format, and we have that for the original campaign, but I printed a bunch of extra at this big size. So whoever backs will get that, and then I have Lair copies as well. So you get a signed physical copy of each. That's a great way to see what I'm doing. So again, I'm still new, man. I'm still new.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm debating whether or not I should say my two other ideas that are would be one shots. I kind of want to because they're really, really cool. I don't know if I should though. And
here's the thing: say if they're really cool, and you don't want to talk about them yet, don't talk about them. Just save it until you want to talk about it either with someone or off air, or if just wait until because there's a lot. Like even with me, like I did my first crowdfunding campaign for Under the Flesh, was like a no post-apocalyptic. It's kind of like Captain America meets The Walking Dead type. But it's not zombies. I play on the stereotype that it's zombies, but I'm gonna flip everything on its head because it's nothing with zombies. But it's like everything zombies. But yeah, but that went up to 3 issues, and then I had to hang it up because the artist on the project was doing a lot of good Marvel work, and so I don't want to move on with a different artist. So I kind of that's his baby. That's our baby. I figure, hey, I'll just keep on doing other books, and we'll take a break. All great projects take a break, and we'll come back to it when our audience is really big.
Yeah, that actually
finish it up.
That actually happened with me. I showed you some art for my new cousin stuff, and that was actually the book I was going to do instead of Paragon Prime. I was going to do Duke Hudson, but I wanted the original artist, the artist that did those pieces. Yeah. But he is kind of super busy right now, and he can't really work on that. Oh. So I figured, well, you know what? I'm going to work on Paragon Prime and do that and give that all my attention and all my passion. And then maybe by the time I'm done with Paragon Prime, he'll be available to work on Duke Hudson. So
yeah, so you know what I'm saying? Like you figure it out, because me with so when the Under the Flesh didn't kind of work out, I'm like, okay, I don't want to start another 5-issue series or 6-issue series. Like I didn't want to do that because I don't want to get into a situation where I'm just waiting for something or so. So I was looking for a new artist. I met Sebastian, and the idea was to do Lair. And I originally was thinking, hey, like kind of what I'm doing with Galactic Wardens of Mayhem, like a 100-page book, and that's it, like a one-shot. Uh-huh. But I was like, man, you know what? I can't just come out of nowhere with a 100-page book. I'm a nobody. No one knows who I am. And I still got this little audience with Under the Flesh, and they're probably like, man, we like this story, and now you're jumping to something new. You know what I'm saying? So just like, you know what? I got to play it real simple. I'm just going to do a one-shot with Lair. Boom, got that done. Pistoleta's another one that kept that going. I said, nope, one shot. So I got those 2 one-shots. So I got those 2 books out of the way, 2 separate type of stories, so readers could gauge my work and see the type of work I put out. Yeah. Galactic Wardens of Mayhem, I'm back to being more ambitious. And again, if the project doesn't fun, we'll bring it back in 2 parts. We're gonna get this book told. It's gonna happen. And this is gonna be one that's like a franchise. This is the one I want to franchise.
Yeah, well, it has franchise written all over it. It has action figures and lunch boxes and animated series written all over it. So So that's why I want to handle this one right. But at the same time, I do have another project coming out right after this with the artist I worked on Under the Flesh. So now he got some time, but instead of jumping right back into Under the Flesh, it's like, hey, let's just cement the storytelling. Yeah.
So boom. So that's why we got the Deep Dark, and that's going to be another 30-page one-shot like Pistoleta.
Is that another horror one?
It's going to be another horror, aquatic horror. It's like Lovecraft meets Jaws.
That sounds awesome. I heard you give that description somewhere else, and I remember that I thought it sounded really, really cool.
So that's all I want to do, make cool stuff. And then with JL, once we build our repertoire, we could jump back to Under the Flesh and maybe franchise that. But, I kind of want to just take it slow. My path is different. Your path is you have a cool camp, you got a cool project looking. And if I could impart my wisdom, I say, listen, just focus on that book. And if you got it up to like 30 issues in your head, get that out, because that's going to be a force in itself.
My plan, right now, the plan is to come out with a single 25-page comic. That's going to be the first campaign. Right, the very first campaign is just a single issue, kind of introducing the character. I got this really cool action sequence in there, and his personality comes through. Mm-hmm. And then when that's successful, my plan is to do like a thick origin kind of graphic novel.
Nice.
Like
and if you build your audience the way you do with Paragon Crime, they're going to want more stuff. Yeah. And then you can do like a thicker book, because now you got these people that's your audience kind of plugged in.
And then when that's done, I don't know. I plan to do like an ongoing. I don't know how an ongoing series would work with crowdfunding. I mean, maybe by that time I'd get picked up by Alterna Comics. I mean, because the guy doing T-Bird and Throttle got picked up by Alterna Comics, so that's pretty awesome for him.
Yeah, he has some great work. I think he got his 3rd issue in, so he got some material there. So
exactly. Now I might have to do a thing where I have to bundle 2 or 3 issues, 2 or 3 kind of like, single issues into like a thicker kind of thing and do it that way, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, play around with it. Yeah. There's so many strategies here. Just stick true to the story that you have and test it out. Like, again, everything is you coming in and trying to figure out your plan. And like I said, if you fail, you're learning with failure. I failed a few times, quite a few times, and I'm learning as I go, even learning right now. So
now I wanted to talk about something else. I've been watching a lot of YouTubers that interview, indie comic creators, like the Heroic Studio guy. I've been watching a lot of his videos yesterday and today, and and Crowdfunding Comics. I'm listening to a lot of their stuff, and they're great. And I've seen both of your episodes on both of these shows, and I've listened to a couple of the other ones. Now, a lot of times I felt like the creator doesn't talk about their project with enough passion, and that affects me because I don't want to back their project. You know, I think I listen to some of these episodes. I'm like, well, you don't sound like you believe in your project. You sound like you're bored and uninterested. I'm like, that's a problem. I think, you know, if you don't sound like you believe in your project, then why should I?
Yeah. I think in that situation, it could just be stage fright. I mean, some people, you know, maybe introverted and on a TV channel and then on a YouTube channel. Then maybe if you get on a good stream, like if you get on someone like that's pretty high up, like maybe Billy Tucci, and you're kind of nervous because, you know, he's a pro. And you kind of get a little nervous
too.
Yeah. So it could be like you probably are really passionate about your book, but you don't exude that on the stream because you could just be nervous, and that just takes a while to get the jitters out.
You're right, but like, you know, you're very charming and very animated, and the way you talk about Galactic Realms of Mayhem, you're super excited about it, and I can tell that you believe in your project. You know,
man, I do, bro.
Yeah,
I wish believing was enough to get it funded.
But the thing is though, okay, here's the thing. I listened to a couple of them, and one of the ones I listened to, was the Monster MD. I forget the guy's name, but
Von Claus.
Yeah, something like that. So I had known about this project for a while, but kind of I don't know. The art looks kind of cool, but I don't know about it. But then I heard his episode on one of these channels, and the way he spoke about it made me regret not backing it.
You can still back it. I think it's in demand.
Really? Okay. Yeah. Well, maybe I will, because the way he spoke about it, the passion he had in his voice, and the way he spoke at him, I'm like, damn, I should have backed it, because the way he's talking about it makes it sound awesome, you know.
No, and he got a great book. I think that one I definitely backed, and I don't know I don't know too much about him aside from Monster MD. Like, I don't like from work. Like, if you look at his stuff, it's like you're like, this dude should be working for the big two or something.
Yeah.
He has that kind of pizzazz, I guess, and charisma and for selling the book.
Exactly. He had
I wish I had.
You know, and you have the same kind of charisma. You know, you have this kind of magnetic personality that, you know, like, makes me want to back your book. I already backed your book, but like, if I hadn't already, I'm like, this guy's awesome. The way he talks about his project and the way he believes in his project, like, makes me want to back the book. And I think that's important. Like, you know, a lot of these streams, you know, ask you like, well, what advice would you give to, you know, new creators? I'm like, well, what I would say is talk like you need to speak like you have passion for what you're doing, for your project. You know, if I think if people see you have passion for it, they'll believe that you believe in it, and they'll believe it in it themselves, and they'll back your project.
Yeah, for sure. Passion is like half the battle. I mean, Monster MD, I think that's his first book, and he made over 60,000. Not anyone is going to come on the scene and make 60,000 for a book. Just so I mean, you got a great project. And that's part of it. And the way he was hyping the campaign, that's when I first heard of. I'm like, okay, like I just saw it through Twitter, some stuff. Okay, and I'm like, okay, this is gonna be good. And then there was he teamed up with Shinobi Sasquatch, Cal Jameson. Which is an amazing book. That had a cool little team up going.
Really cool too, yeah.
That one I also backed. And then they eventually made it to like the big time. Like I think they got on Ethan's show, EVS a few times. Yeah, that helps. So I think what you need to do is just be passionate about your project and just stay true to it, and hope that you could also rise in at least the YouTube ranks to get, because there's a lot of people on YouTube that have so many subscribers, but it's hard to get their attention because, again, they have so much you know, there's so much bandwidth going their way, so it's hard to kind of get their attention. Like Clownfish TV, I think, is one, has a lot of great of viewership. World Class Bullshitters is another one.
Obviously,
there's
Ethan.
So there's a lot. So like I tried connecting with some of these, and it's very hard, dude. It's just very hard.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna be on another the guy that had you on twice, Heroic Studio.
Yeah,
that guy. I'm probably gonna be on his show in November when he starts back up again. But yeah, I spoke to him yesterday on Twitter. I'm like, I saw what you did, and like, yeah, I can totally have you on in November. Like, oh, sounds awesome. Mm-hmm. So I have that set up.
He's a cool dude. So you just got to keep on plugging away, and it again, as much passion as you have, that's half the battle. You definitely got to have a strategic plan, and if you're able to get community support, for people that have bigger platforms, that's amazing.
Yeah, so, Twitter's actually been a big help. I've gotten a lot of retweets on my channel. No. And like I tipped the guy earlier, he had said, I like this guy's passion. I'm gonna have to subscribe. So at least I have the passion down. At least I think I do. So I believe in this project, and I have so much to tell, and so many. Like I have a character that could spin off into her own book.
Totally. That's always good, man. That's what you got to keep things going, and you have to be invigorated.
I am so invigorated.
Yeah, you have to. I mean, like I said, it's a passion, right? You work for free. If you love it, you do it for free. Like we're paying.
Like I told you last night, I couldn't sleep. I stayed up all night just writing notes on my comic, on future, on story ideas, character ideas. I just typed away for like hours.
Yeah, so keep that spark, keep that spark going, and definitely don't stop. Definitely put your stuff out there and be believing in it, because if not, you'll stagnate. Mm-hmm. So just stay on it.
So I'm curious, because the thing is, before I went on Twitter, I knew that there was a lot of Comicsgate drama between creators, but I didn't really understand it. But now that I'm on Twitter and I've been reading tweets between, certain people, I'm like, what is going on? It's crazy.
It's what do you call it? It's a war zone.
Yeah.
Everyone has an opinion, which is fine. But then you have people that don't want to. I mean, there's a way to approach people. There's a way to be respectful, even on Twitter. There was a tweet. I got into a tweet somehow. Even Ethan Van Sciver was somehow within this tweet. And I think it was someone saying that they were upset waiting so long or something like that. And someone was like, well, if it's a good book, I don't mind waiting. And then they're like, well, some creators, and then they tagged me, like at Gilbert Deltrez. He's like, I liked his book, but I like that he got hit with a big delay, and he still, brought his, project out, and he rewarded like people that were waiting for their book with a free copy of Pistoleta that he didn't have to do. Uh-huh. So that's what I did. So like he was saying that, and then they were just talking back and forth, and then the guy was like, okay. Then I told him, I said something about Grom, Galactic Guardians of Mayhem. I'm like, hey, you know what? Like, hey, backers like you, what have you? Hey, check out Grom. You might like it, if you like Cyberfog or something like that.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I'm just paraphrasing. I'm not gonna pull it up, but I could. Anyway, he's like, do we really need another Anthro monster type thing? He's like, all the big ones are already published. He's like, I mean, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, anyone? Like, do we really need anything new? And I think now I'm sparked. At least check what I wrote back, because I mean, again, if I'm sorry if I don't have it like at the tip of my tongue word for word, but there's only so many things you can kind of focus on when it comes to Twitter. You know what I mean? It's like when it comes to even my books, it's like there's so much stuff that you gotta watch what you want to like focus your energy on.
Here's an example. I backed 3 projects from 3 people that right now are at odds with each other, but I backed all 3 of their projects.
There you go. And I also have people that backed my project that are warring within Comicsgate.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's what I'm saying, man. I'm the person, like, I'm making books. I'm loyal to the people who back my books. If the people who back my book, if you hate each other, I'm loyal to both of you.
Yeah,
You back my book.
You know,
So I'm not going to get in between your fight.
You know what? Let's take, for example, Cyberfrog. I love the concept. I got the book. I loved it. I think Ethan did an amazing job with the book. So yeah, I fully support Ethan, and I can't wait for the next issue to come out because it's a great book and I really liked it. But I also backed Lone Star, but I know he's feuding with Ethan, and I also backed Earthworm Jim, and I know he's also feuding with.
I'm having fun backing these books, and I'm not gonna not back because of
exactly because there's infighting. I don't care. You know, if I believe in the book, and it excites me, it's something that I'm interested in, I'm gonna back it. That's all that matters to me.
For sure. Okay, so I found the tweet. He goes like this: the best monster anthro comics are already in shops, though. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, anyone? Because I get it though. I think your current one is Hamsters. There's a comic for that already, or is it Biker Mice from Mars? It's probably a comic too and a cartoon already, or are they guinea pigs? So then I put, my dude, I can assure you that Grom is one of a kind. Think Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Star Wars conceiving a capybara baby during a Saturday morning cartoon marathon. Mm-hmm. Capybaras are the biggest rodents in the world. Boar size. They swim and chill with crocodiles. Our art rivals what IDW puts out. And then I put a picture of my cover. So he's coming his way. Okay, cool. You have your view. Let me show you my way, right? Because obviously you don't know what capybaras are. And then he puts this is his response. Looks pretty cool. I think you're a proven creator. So that was respect, right? So what am I going to do? Am I going to I'm going to answer respect back. Hey, I appreciate those words. Hopefully with each project, I can rise more and more from obscurity. Backers like you help form each rung to that ladder for me.
See, that's awesome right there.
So this is how we have respect with people on Twitter. I mean, when you get into this SJW wars, they blockchain. So they say all this other stuff, and you got to go through sub accounts to figure what they're saying, and it just becomes a big old joke. But they don't want to hear any, disagreements. And if you disagree with them, you're automatically transphobic, whatever the hell that is. You're homophobic.
All the phobes and all
the BS nonsense. Yeah. So I don't got tolerance for that. If you really want to back the book, you'll back it. It's like you got a bunch of people that are these SJWs, like they graduate with these degrees, and they're like, yeah, well, they're putting a different type of lens on for sexuality and for this, and they're scrutinizing, and that doesn't make you a comic book writer. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of what it's almost like this is what qualifies to be a writer in comic books for Marvel, the big two, because some of the stuff I'm seeing, you get why we're having a conversation. You get why the term SJW is seen as something negative, where a lot of them will be like, we embrace it. But you're embracing it for the wrong reasons. It's like
like that story you told about the guy over at one of the comic sites saying that he'll put up your article or interview if you denounce Comicsgate. Like that. I don't know how I would handle that. I'd probably send him to hell. Like, screw you, guy. I'm not doing that.
No, I hear you. But Mr. Christian, I will have to depart.
All right.
Is there anything else that you wanted to throw out at me real quick before we go, or is that?
No, I think I pretty much covered everything that I wanted to talk about. Yeah.
All right, so we'll definitely double down on another. Like, you'll come back on my show. We'll figure something out. I like this tit for tat thing. It's a good way to put out content as well as develop our presentation, right?
Definitely, yeah.
Our speech presentation on our YouTube appearance.
Yeah, I'm going to attempt to make another solo video later this week or this weekend or something. Yeah. We'll see how that goes.
Let me know if you're also able to edit your stream through the StreamYard, or like get the video to where you could edit it on your program, because I wasn't sure about that.
Okay, yeah, I'll play around. I'll play around with it and stuff.
Okay.
Well, thanks for coming on, Gilly. It was awesome. Thank you for being my first guest on my very first live stream. That means a lot to me.
Heck yeah, man. Definitely looking forward to more.
Yeah, totally. All right, everybody. See you next time. Bye-bye.
Later.